What's up guys, it's Awesome Code here. Welcome to a brand new Java tutorial. So today we will be talking about local variables, instance variables, and class or static variables. Alright, so here I created a basic Java template for us, so we'll just fill in the blanks. And if you do not know how to create a new Java project or a new Java class, please check out my other tutorials. There's good information in there. Alright, so now let's get started with our program. So now we'll be declaring and initializing an instance variable. So before we get to that, I just want to explain what this is. So an instance variable is normally declared in the class but outside any methods. And to access these instance variables, you have to use the this pointer. So the fashion is you say this dot variable name, and that's how you access it. Alright, so let's see how this works. So now let's just declare this variable. So private string sky color equal blue. Perfect. Alright. So now let's declare and initialize a static or class variable. So a static or class variable is normally declared in the class but outside any methods. And now to access these static or class variables, they're different than instance variables. So to access them, you can just use the name directly. You do not have to use the this pointer. And a side note, it's very important, for class or static variables, there's only one copy of this variable per class. So no matter how many times you instantiate a new class, there will only be one copy. So now let's declare and initialize our static or class variable. So we'll say public static final string earth figure. We'll set this variable equal to round. So now we'll just have a print method for our instance variable. So public void print sky color. We'll utilize our print method, so systemout.println. And now to access this instance variable, we have to use the this pointer. So this dot sky color. Okay, this dot sky color. And if you print out or execute this line, it'll print out the color blue. So now let's have a print method for our static or class variable. So we'll say public, it's all caps there. So public void print earth figure. Alright, so we'll have a systemout.println, and remember to access it, just directly use the variable name. You do not have to use the this pointer because it's a static or class variable. So now in here I just want to show you guys how local variables work. So local variables, they're normally declared in a method, and they cannot be used outside the method. There's a specific scope for it. If you do not know what scope is the area that the variable is visible in. So now let's just have a method where we declare this local variable. So we'll say public int print population, or let's say get population. So now let's declare this population variable, local variable. So in population, initialize it to 5,000, and we'll just return this variable. So return population. Alright, so now let's move down to our main function. So now let's instantiate our earth class. So earth 1 equals new earth. Oops. Ooh, my fingers are very fidgety. You know, coding is very exciting. Alright, so now let's create a brand new earth, number 2. So earth 2, new earth. So now let me just show you guys how to access and print the instance variables that we declared in our earth class. So let's use our handy dandy systemout.println. So now let's access it. So in order to access it in the main function, you cannot use the this pointer directly. So you have to instantiate the class and then use that object to call the function. So we'll say 1 dot sky color. So now we can access our sky color inside the earth class. So now let's access and print out the static class variable that we declared in our earth class. So system out dot print line. Here you do not have to instantiate a class or use the this pointer. You can just use the variable name directly. Static or class variables are different, so no need to instantiate a new class, no need to use the this pointer, no need to do anything special. All you have to do is just pass in the variable directly. So we declared it as earth figure, so now let's pass that in. So now to access and print our local variable, since we have a method inside our class function, we have to instantiate an object for our earth class to be able to get the function. So let's use our system.out.println again. So system.out.println we'll call one.get population. Alright, so get population. So now let's run this and see how it works. So go ahead and click save. And now let's check our console. Alright, so we printed out our instance variable sky color. Notice that it says blue. And we accessed and printed out our static or class variable. So notice that this earth figure was set to round. And we got our local variable by instantiating a new class and calling the get population method. And that population variable, local variable, it was set to 5,000. So everything works perfectly. Now the reason why I instantiated two different objects is because I want to talk about how static variables work, class or static variables work. So when I said that class or static variables only have one copy per class, I meant that no matter how many times you keep instantiating the class, this object here, 1 or 2, it will still refer to the same earth figure called round. So 1 will point to round, 2 will point to earth figure round. So they point to the same variable. Hope you guys had a good time learning what local variables are, instance variables, and class or static variables. And as always, please give this video a rating, subscribe, and share. Anything helps, we'll spread the knowledge, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Alright, have a good day everyone.